Have you set your goals for 2020 yet? We have, and we're going to let you know what they are. Hi, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Tasha with One Big Happy Life, and we help you find balance, build wealth, and live happy. Everything that you need to create the life that you want.
We are really big on having goals every single year here at One Big Happy Life because we know that is how you reach for things and stretch and can really improve. You got to define that. And so we wanted to share what we have for 2020 to inspire you. If you haven't already set your goals, you need to get some.
Yeah, and not only are we so big on goals, just kind of personally, but we think there's such a big deal that we've devoted the entire month of January inside of Wealth Builders Academy to helping our members plan their year and not just their financial year, right? Because I think that we can all get so tunnel vision on, oh, well, these are the financial goals that I want to hit, that it's possible that you forget, well, your life is also happening at the same time. So we think it's really important that you balance your financial goals and your life goals, which is exactly what we taught this month inside of Wealth Builders Academy with the Plan Your Year Masterclass. So we're just going to be sharing our personal finance and life goals over the course of the next year.
Okay, so we'll start with financial goals and retirement goals.
Yeah, those are always our number one. Like saving for retirement, there's no way to make up for that. You have to do it now.
Yeah, so basically, these are really tied. Like how important they are. So we want to max out Tasha's 401k, and because she's self-employed now, the max on that is $56,000, and then I also want to max out my 401k, but the max for me is $19,000 plus whatever matching I get.
Yes. And then we also want to max out Joseph's HSA. So we have two health insurance plans. I have a Cadillac plan because that's covering IVF. And so the deductible is really low, so it doesn't qualify for an HSA. But Joseph has a high deductible plan.
Yeah.
So, and he has a family plan because it's him and Reeves on his insurance. Me and Alexis are on my insurance. So the max there is $7,100.
Yeah, and right now the HSA has been growing because we haven't been needing a lot of medical care. So it's been working out really well having that as an extra way to save. And of course, Alexis is going to be starting college in the fall at, the remaining 2 years of her college at the 4-year university. So we want to have $12,000 in her college fund, just $12,000 more in her college fund. Really kind of before she gets there.
Yes, that would be ideal. And then we also want to add 2 months to our emergency fund. And so that's $12,000. So between those 5 savings goals, because those are all savings goals, it adds up to $106,000 that we want to put towards our various financial goals, which would just be savings goals throughout the year. Now, we have 2 other goals that are kind of like, well, if we happen to hit these and there's more where that came from, these are some other things that we would like to do. And before we get into them, I just want to say that this is the first year where our incomes have not been fixed because we have our own business and, I am employed by that business. There is no limit to the amount of revenue that the business can make. It's just a matter of figuring out how to do it, right? And to grow the business over time. And so what that does is give us some flexibility in setting our financial goals, because it's possible that we may have more than expected. So that's where these other ones come in.
Okay, so first, we would want to pay off Alexis's car. Now, we've talked a number of times about, well, it's got a low interest rate, so it's not a big deal, and then we just slow pay it. And that's true, which is why this is just a stretch goal. If we have a whole bunch of money left, then we could just pay it off because that's the only thing we have.
And there are a couple reasons why we would want to do that. So first of all, she is going away to college, which means she will not be living here anymore. And while the car is financed, we own the car. we're on the title. We're responsible for anything and everything that happens with that car when it's away from here. So once we pay it off, we'll be able to just transfer it over to Alexis's name, and then it's her car titled in her name. So that's really great. And then secondly, well, it couldn't hurt to lower our expenses if we happen to have extra, the extra cash to pay it off. And it frees us up to perhaps get a new car for one of us in another year.
Yeah, it's true. And then the other thing that we would do is renovate the master bath.
Maybe. That one's like a super maybe.
Or so maybe just some home projects. There's a list of things that we could do, but if we have, like I said, a bunch of extra money, then we'd look at least some remodeling to the house.
Yeah, so we got a quote for our master bathroom reno, and that quote was 35,000. So that's the amount that we have set there. And why I say maybe on that, even though we both like super hate our bathroom and complain about it all the time, is because I don't know that we're going to be living in this house more than another 2 years. We're contemplating what we're going to do. We're looking at other cities, we're looking at other homes, what things cost. There are a lot of balls in the air right now, a lot of potential transitions happening. So I don't know that we're going to drop 35,000 on a cosmetic change to our house if we end up planning to sell it in 2 years. But I think we'd like to have the option so that maybe the renovation will happen next year and we have the cash. And if we decide we're staying.
Yeah, the other thing is, of course, that might sound like a really big number to a lot of you. Maybe some people have had bathrooms done and that's like, oh yeah, that sounds about right. But we would definitely get multiple quotes to see if we get that number down before you drop that kind of money.
Yeah, and it's important to know that it's a massive renovation because our current bathroom is like a standard size bathroom, and we would be making it into a bigger bathroom with a soaking tub and a shower. We don't have that right now, and it would go where our closet is, and our closet would move. So it's actually a pretty big project, which is also why it costs that much.
Yeah. Okay, now to personal goals. I guess I'll go
First, you go
Okay.
first.
Okay, well, so as many of you have probably noticed, I have lost quite a bit of weight. I am over 30 pounds smaller than I was about 6 months ago. And I intend to continue losing
I
weight.
just want to say, if you're not following us on Instagram, why aren't you following us on Instagram at One Big Happy Life? Because you would have seen before and after shirtless photos of Joseph over there recently if you were there. So I'm just saying, you missed out if you're not following us there. Just go follow us now.
Okay, now that you're back from following us. So I don't know exactly how much weight I want to continue to lose because at this point it's hard to estimate how much weight I have to lose. But so I think my body fat percentage is around 17 or so right now. And I think I want to get it down to 10%, around there.
So I too have health goals for 2020, and mine are more, but on the lines of like creating a healthy and sustainable lifestyle. And I know that that sounds like this very vague goal that people say you're not supposed to have. It's supposed to be like SMART goals, measurable and all of that stuff. I don't have time for that. I am just trying to. I know the way I want to live. I know the results that I want to have. And I know that I need to figure out a way to build sustainable, healthy habits into my life. So the habits that I want to build are I want to exercise at least 30 minutes a day. And when I say exercise, it could just be taking a walk. It's not like I have to be pouring sweat and pumping iron, but like doing something physical, at least 30 minutes every single day, getting 8 hours of sleep, drinking at least 64 ounces of water, and just making better choices with my food. More fruits, more vegetables, less meat is our goal for 2020. So, and my thought is that over the course of a year, making these kinds of changes should enable me to also lose approximately 30 pounds, assuming that I don't get pregnant. And I might still end up losing weight when I'm pregnant, but, because that happened with Reeves, but it's not like I'm going to be pushing for that to happen.
Okay, and next, so I was looking at Tasha's list and it reminded me. So last year, actually 2 years ago, I set a goal
Don't you
to read
steal my
books.
read my books thing. How dare you? I'm like, oh, I get to talk about reading books this year.
I
And
will
he's
read
like,
no books. That's my goal. Okay, but so for 2019, I wanted to read 100 books. That was a little bit too far. I got to like 60 or 70, which is fewer than I read in 2018, but it's because I switched the kinds of books that I was reading, and so it slowed me down. But I'll read some books, but I won't have a goal, so I'm not stealing hers.
My goal is to read 30 books in 2020. Like that felt very doable to me. I already know how I'm going to do it. They're going to be audiobooks and I'm going to be listening to them when I'm working out.
That's good. Okay. Now I have got some triathlon goals. I have signed up for the 3 triathlons that I know that I'm going to do. And so there's a sprint, an Olympic, and then a half Ironman in June. And so I want to do really well in them. But by really well, I mean sticking to my game plan and, performing as good as I can on the day where I'm walking away and I'm like, yeah, so I did everything that I was supposed to do right.
Yeah, you guys need, if you're not familiar with triathlons, go and look up the distances that he's talking about, especially the half Ironman. And his goal is to do an Ironman next year. So that's, that is a lot. Speaking of big goals, I also want to finally write a book in 2020. It's something that I've been dreaming about for almost my entire life. I've always wanted to write a book. It will be a nonfiction book, though. I always thought I'd write some kind of trilogy about vampires. I probably still will eventually, but
frankly,
not this year.
I am surprised that you haven't already written a book by now.
About
like
vampires?
A fiction book.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I don't know about specifically vampires, but
Maybe werewolves.
but something. Like because when I met her, it's like she would write a good bit almost every day.
Yeah.
And so
I've fallen out of the habit. So 2020 is my year to finally write that book. And lastly, my big goal in 2020 is this is a personal and business goal, to double our business revenue year over year, which is a pretty ambitious
she's got some
goal.
lofty goals, all of that in 1 year. And so
while getting enough sleep. Watch it.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm hoping to make 1 vlog a month. So we've been slacking on the vlogs quite a bit
Give
compared
us a
to
thumbs
some.
up if you miss our vlogs.
Yeah, so compared to some years, we have been very vlog light. And so I think we want to switch that around. And so I'm going to commit to doing 1 a month. Hopefully there will be more, but 1 a month.
All right, so that is it for our 2020 goals. We're going to be sharing our progress along the way. Let us know what your big goals are down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye. Have you made your...
Sorry. I'm talking my cheese. Okay.
Hi, I'm Joseph.
Really?
Just tell me when.
I thought about whether I should eat that right before we started filming. And I'm like,
The answer is no eating right before. You do that.
I do. Okay.